So good day, grade 2 students. How are you today po? So I hope everyone's feeling good and excited to learn something new. So our lesson for today is called Finding Out About Living Things and Their Interaction. So now when we say living things, it is the humans, animals, and plants. Again po sinabi natin living things, ito po yung mga humans, animals, and plants. All of these are living things and they are all connected in so many interesting ways. So as we go along, we'll discover how they help and depend on each other. So let's make sure po to listen carefully and enjoy our discussion because this topic is really fun and meaningful. Before we start, let's first look at our objectives, our goals for today, for today's lesson. So by the end of our discussion, you should be able to do 3 things. First one, you'll be able to recall the different needs of living things. For example, like what they need to survive, like that. Second, you'll learn to appreciate how important all living things are, and they work how they work together to keep nature balanced. Lastly, you'll draw pictures showing how living things interact. So later, you'll also get to show your creativity. Now class, let's start with something very basic. So what are living things? Ano ba teacher ang ibig sabihin ng living things? So living things are humans, animals, and plants. Pag sinabi natin living things, ito po yung humans, animals, and plants. They called living things because they can grow, naggrow po sila, nakakagalaw, move, nakakahinga, and also they need food and water para makasurvive, para mabuhay. So just like us, katulad natin mga tao, yung animals and plants po also have needs. Tulad ng pinag-aralan natin noon. They all need the water, food, air, and also shelter. So without this, they cannot live or grow properly. Pero ito yung mas cool pag pinag-usapan po natin ang living things. Pero ito po yung mas cool pag pinag-usapan natin yung living things. So living things are connected because they interact with one another. Ang bawat living things, humans, animals, and plants ay magkakakonektado or connected dahil nag-i-interact po sila sa isa't isa. O nag-i-interact tayo sa animals and plants. So for example, yung mga meron tayo alaga ng aso, we have interaction on that. So ang teacher, ano po ba ibig sabihin ng interaction? So class, the word interaction means when one living thing does something and another is affected. That's what we called interaction. Okay? So for example po, pag nagdilig ka ng halaman, as yung halaman ay tumubo o lumaki, that's interaction. Or kapag nakipaglaro ka sa alaga mong aso, sa alaga mong pusa, at iba pang mga pets, at naging masaya ka, that's interaction too. So all of the things interact with each other in their surroundings, and this interaction happen in a place we call an ecosystem. So nangyayari itong interaction na to sa tinatawag nating lugar na ecosystem. Ano po ba teacher ang ibig sabihin ng ecosystem? So when we say ecosystem, it is a community of living things. Sama-samang living things and their surroundings that interact. Pag ang living things ay nag-interact, we call that ecosystem. Ayun yung tawag sa community ng mga living things na nakikipag-interact. So it's like a big family po, where humans, animals, and also plants live together. So, and also helping each other para makasurvive. But we also have different kinds of interaction. So ano po ba kaya yung mga types of interaction? So for our first type of interaction is what we call the human interaction. This happens between and among people, meaning when humans help or when humans talk or work together, that's what we call human-to-human interaction. So for example po, pag inalagaan ka ng iyong magulang, pag may sakit ka, tapos inalagaan ka ng magulang mo, that's an interaction. O kaya naman kapag bumili ka sa tindahan, yan, that's interaction too. So whenever we talk, play, or help each other, we are interacting. So for example, sa school, kapag you share your crayons, you share your pencil, your paper, that's an interaction. And if you help each other with an activity, that's a human-to-human interaction. So again, kapag human-to-human interaction, nagtutulungan po ang mga tao, or yung friends mo, nagtutulungan kayo isa't isa, o nag-uusap po kayo. That's a human-to-human interaction. Next type of interaction naman is what we call human-to-animal interaction. So let's talk about naman po yung human-to-animal interaction. This happens when humans and animals depend on each other. So for example, a fisherman catching a fish. May fisherman na nanguhuli ng isda, that's an interaction. So another example naman, when people take care of their pets, like dogs and cats, or birds, or iba pang mga pets, that's an interaction. So if a human gives animals food, water, and shelter, in return, nagbabalik yung mga animals natin ng friendship, ng joy, ng love, and sometimes food. So when you feed your puppy or your other pet, or play with your cat, you're actually showing a human to animal interaction. Again, kapag human to animal interaction, nakikipag-usap ka or naalagaan mo yung mga animals. Okay? Next type of interaction, we have human to plant interaction. So when we say human to plant interaction, this happens when humans and plants affect one another. So for example po, si farmer, yung mga farmer nagdidilig o nagpa-plant ng mga crops. Or when people water their plants at home, kapag nagdidilig ng water ay ng halaman sa bahay, that's an interaction. So humans helps plants by giving them water and care. So in return, yung plants po nagbibigay sa atin ng food, ano pa, yung oxygen, the shade, and the beauty of our surroundings. So every time you water a plant or pick of fruits and vegetables, remember, you're part of that is beautiful interaction. So between humans and plants. Kapag nagdidilig ka, kumain ka, kumuha ka ng nagpitas ka ng bulaklak, ng fruits and vegetables, that's a human to plant interaction. So let's proceed to the animal to plant interaction. Ano po ba, teacher, yung last nating type? So this is our last type of interaction, animal to plant interaction. So this happens between animals and plants naman po. For example, when animals eat plants, kapag ang isang animals ay kumain ng damo, ng mga gulay, so para makasurvive po sila, that's what we called interaction. So when birds build nest on trees, yun po, that's also an interaction. And also, here's the science fact. Plants use carbon dioxide that animals breathe out to make food. So that's another form of interaction. So again po, pag sinabi natin animal to plant interaction, it happens between animals and also plants. Okay po? So let's have facts. Let's share a facts. So did you know the largest flower in the world is called Rafflesia arnoldii? So again, the largest flower in the world is called Rafflesia arnoldii. So it doesn't have leaves or roots or stems, and it smells like a rotten meat, parang bulok na meat. It uses the smell to attract insects. So nature is really amazing. So that's what we called the largest flower in the world. As you can see here in the picture, that's Rafflesia arnoldii. So So let's proceed to the review and summary. So before we end, let's have a quick review. So living things need food, water, air, and shelter para makasurvive. They interact in different ways, which is human to human, human to animal, human to plant, and also animal to plant. So all these interactions happens in an ecosystem, a place where living things and their surroundings live and work together. For your activity and performance, we're going to test how well you understood the lesson. For your written activity, nandito po, and for performance tasks, nandito po sa baba, yun sa pictures, which is isa-send ko po sa GC ang inyong gagawin. So that's it for today po. Thank you for listening. Goodbye and thank you.